Hi everyone, 6th of July, Thursday, 17 minutes to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Here's my latest video blog. I'm sort of in the dark a little bit here, my light's blue, but that doesn't stop me from doing my video today. Now, what I wanted to cover today was a little bit of a quick review on EOS, only because it's hot and I'm sort of very intrigued with what's happening within each of these windows each day, and I have been observing it throughout the day. I've also got a little article about something that Goldman Sachs has come out and said about Bitcoin, which is a little bit of a surprise. I want to just touch on gold and silver very quickly. Also, some other stuff in regards to Steem, and I also want to share with you my top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cryptocurrencies. Now, I'm very, very mindful about sharing any information in regards to, the cryptocurrencies and trying to hyperinflate or hype up a particular crypto as being the one that's going to make you a millionaire and get you that Lamborghini and all of that type of stuff that we're seeing at the moment. All I want to do is just share with you things that I might be doing. It doesn't mean you go out and do it. It's just obviously I'm speaking from my own experience, what I've had a good record with, what I've been researching into, etc., etc. And what I'm going to do is just go through those 11 cryptos and let you know, give you a bit of insight on why I've invested in them and how well they've gone for me to a degree, and what I can see in the future, and how I'm feeling about cryptos in general in regards to that little handful of cryptocurrencies and that tech behind each of these. So starting off with EOS, EOS period 5. Now at the moment we've got 5 hours to go and it's sitting at 41 cents, which is pretty good. Now, anyone that's interested in keeping up with the EOS price, you've got to go to eosscan.io and you'll see the running total, and they've also added how many EOS tokens you'll get for the ETH at that moment, not taking into account any more money that lands in the contract by the end of this 5-hour period, as you can see by the clock. So the reality of this period is that you will get an average amount of tokens based on the total amount of ETH contributed within this window. So you've got to just remember that someone could dump $50 million in the last 1 second, and that would inflate or reduce your token percentage, I suppose, for that particular window. So what I've been doing is keeping the window open. I'm just watching it now throughout the day. Now, I have noticed that people are, or someone, or entities, are dumping money in the last hour or so. They're doing the same thing. They're holding it open. We've seen the craziness of the first few days. Now, as I scroll down here, you've got the list. So the first day was 84, second one 62, then 575. Now, this number changes based on the value of the USD on any particular moment. So it's a running total. And you've got 338, 281, and it's sort of on the slide. So we had the first 2 days rocketed to about $6, and now it's pulling back. So today on window 5, period 5, it's sitting at 41. Now, what I expect to happen, and we're going to see a deflation in energy, but we also might see an inflation in strategy in regards to how people actually invest. It's gone very dark in here. You can hardly see me, but that's all right. This is more about content rather than looking at my mug. So yeah, just be mindful. Now, if you are, the one thing I can say about this window is that you've got to refresh it. If you've had it open all day and you come to it and it's still sitting at 42, just be careful of that, because what you'll find is that it's not accurate. So you'll have to refresh the page, especially if you're about to send money over to the contract. So what I'm looking at doing in the future is I might set my page up, my contract page up, just for a particular day, and I might just sit on it for that last hour, if I happen to have the time and I happen to be online at the right time, and then I'll shoot away my ETH if I feel that that's a price that I'd be willing to pay. Right now, this is a price I'd be willing to pay, 42 cents, based on the first day of being 80. So I would improve my position pretty much by 100%. Well, 50% if you like, depends on how you look at it. But so that's one thing. EOS still climbing. I'll be looking at this especially in 100 days, and I think you'll find that the price will come right down Some days you'll get lucky. Some days you might find that someone will dump a big lump of money on right at the last minute, and you won't get the same value. So probably the best strategy from here is to wait a little bit, just have a bit of a review, and then spread out your ETH throughout the year, and and hope to get a very good average. Now moving on to what have we got? CoinDesk. Now click on the particular article. Now Goldman Sachs is not one to have been coming out in the media and pushing cryptocurrencies at all in the previous 5 years. There's been a lot of negative press towards Bitcoin, and you see it all the time, and I think that's to try to slow down the mass adoption, and trying to make create a more organic growth through this whole cryptocurrencies, or it's to make sure that the bankers benefit more so than the general public. They don't want too many millionaires floating around with lots of money, because they lose a little bit of control when that happens. Good for the economy, but not necessarily good for their power and reign. So Goldman Sachs came out and talked about having Bitcoin at around about 3,900. Now, it's not a secret about that Bitcoin's going to go up, and we've seen it go to about 3,000, pull back to about 2.5, and then up to 2.8, and then back to 2.2, and especially in the last month or so, we've seen that $300 or $400 movement up and down and around and about, and so it's sort of hovering between $2.5 and $3,000 mark at the moment. There is no doubt at some stage, and probably in more October, September, maybe the back end of August, once the news of whether or not they're going to hard fork and things like that's going to settle down, and then you may find some people are probably sitting on some money right now, and they're not quite ready to invest in the long term, just because of that particular event. But some people aren't even aware of it. Research it. I'm sure there's heaps of people who've referenced it on Steem, and Google would definitely have news on it. But what it's saying for me is that you've got to look at the long-term picture of Bitcoin. As the whole market is going to rely on Bitcoin and maybe a little bit with Ethereum and the success of those, because when they're successful and the money's coming into those particular cryptocurrencies, it definitely supports the other altcoins and the alternative tech that's being developed right now, and they sort of carry each other along one way or another, and we're going to see a massive influx in the market cap in the next 2 years. I mean, it's just sitting on 100 billion today. It's been floating up and down by 15 to 20 billion in the last probably month, literally 30 days. And I feel in the next 2 months we might see that do something ridiculous. By the end of next year, people are predicting 3 trillion or 1 trillion, or at least the first target would be get to a trillion club. At the moment, the crypto market cap is only, I think it's 0.1 or 1%. I was reading that, so that's not quite accurate. It's either, I know it's only 1% or 0.1% of the entire financial market value across this planet. So it's got a long way to go, and it's only one part of a major, a network of financial options across the world. You've got gold, and you've got the stocks, and all sorts, and the bonds and derivatives and all this other stuff that's floating around. And you suppose you can look at housing markets and wherever you can put money into to obtain a return. I think you'll find the market cap in those other areas is 10 times, 100 times bigger than what we've got right now. So if you're in now, you're in a good time. So Goldman Sachs coming out and promoting Bitcoin, very interesting. You've got to look through all of this type of stuff. I'm very confident in cryptocurrencies. Like I said, I don't think it's a risk anymore. There's definitely risks involved with any investments, but as a whole, as an understanding of the technology and whether or not it's going to be here tomorrow, there's no doubt that it's here. So moving on, I've got my coin Gecko page. I didn't really have too much to share here, in the sense that I think the last month or so has just been, it has retraced right back, and now we're going to see these up and downs, the waves in and out, relative to the different cryptocurrencies that you're watching. Verge is on a run at the moment, and some others, and I'm going to cover these in a little bit. And there are some others that will definitely have their own independent surges and ecosystems in regards to interest and development and news and excitement. And some will be stationary and just going horizontal for quite a period until they get to the next stage of development. And even with all these ICOs, a lot of attention goes in and out of coins. So don't panic. I think if you believe in the technology and you've got a good little stack of investment and you keep stacking and you really do believe in the tech, I think in 2 years' time, I'll keep saying it, and that's because I hope people make wise decisions rather than emotional decisions. I think you'll do okay. Silver and gold. I'm a big silver and gold fan. A bit old school in the sense that, that it was the old hedge, and there is absolutely no doubt that gold and silver has a place within your portfolio. There's no doubt gold and silver holds value. There's no doubt that gold and silver is real and you can hold it, and all these things that we talk about and have the positives. Silver is one of the most conductive metals on the planet. It's going to be used for endless things in the future: electronics, solar power, all sorts of different things. Colloidal silver, if you're interested in maintaining your health. I mean, there's all sorts of uses for this amazing element. Now, what we've found in 2017, we saw this massive spike. It was looking like this is it. This is the one we've been waiting for, the market collapse, and then we had a bit of a pullback, and then we had this massive pullback when the election was on. So it sort of went the opposite direction to what everyone was thinking. And then at the beginning of 2017, we saw a very similar upbeat, and I thought this is going to repeat exactly what it did last year, and it's going to look really positive. And then we've had a massive suppression. Okay, so in this section here, now this is just one part of a massive graph, and you could say, well, what's the difference between that and all of these other ones? And I'd actually be quite happy to say in the last 16 years there is no difference between these, because they're all manipulated, and they're all manipulated in this little section right in the middle of this graph between London and the New York COMEX. And there's no doubt, I watch it often, you'll see these massive dumps. If I could show you this chart 3 days ago, which I can't unfortunately, you'll see there was 3 massive pushes or punches downwards from 1780 or something down to below 16. Now, what I'm getting at here is that yes, it is manipulated. Yes, we understand the value of gold and silver. When's the manipulation going to end? Well, this is what I'm looking for. In 2009, and I have covered this before, gold and silver dropped below 9, or I think it was 10 US dollars. Within the corresponding month, or days, hours after that happened, there would have been a massive buy, no doubt. And from that point, and I could probably bring this up if I click 10 years, okay. Now here it is, 2009, a couple of months before, okay, so 1, 2, 3 months before, maybe a month, 2 months, it got smashed over 2 or 3 months right down to below 10, and then it just went pretty much up, and then a year and a half later it skyrocketed for another year, held out there between 2000 and 2012, was pretty good. In the back end of 2011 we started getting some quantitative easing, and then all this manipulation, and it's been suppressed ever since. And the illusion of our economy has been hidden between media lies and manipulation of gold, silver and quantitative easing and a whole heap of other band-aid solutions, and it's not going to last, and I'm pretty confident with that. So what I'm looking for as an indicator of whether or not we're about to go into the next major collapse, if you like, or the transition period between cryptocurrencies and the fiat currency, there's going to be a transition period, lots of disruption. Maybe there won't be, maybe they're going to try to do this seamlessly. However, what I do know about the big boys is that they like these cycles, the manipulated cycles of the financials, because they can benefit from it. They can short, put themselves into a position where they maximize their position in either direction of the market, depending on where it's going. And that's why they like these 7-year recessions. Everything's on a cycle. They love their numbers and numerology. So when we see this massive suppression of gold and silver, or a massive suppression, or an indicator that it's being pushed down a little bit more aggressively than what it is on a normal day, or for a period, and it may go down below 10 again. It might. Where look, it's the same price as what it was back in 2008. It's about $16.05 at the moment, and it's the same at the same point. So is it going to go down? So just keep your eye on gold and silver. Now, if you're making money out of gold and silver, or you've got a little bit of extra money in your savings, I'd always buy a little bit of gold and silver as well, and store it safely somewhere, not in the system. Make sure you've got ownership of that physical, and just take pride in that, and look at it as an intelligent hedge against everything digital, and against a market that's trying to take wealth away from us. And wealth to me is anything that you can possess in real terms. So land, water, seeds, life experiences, but especially things like gold, silver, and property. Digital digits on a screen is all good and well, but like I think a lot of people, all the conservatives say, if you unplug it one day, which is not going to happen, but if you did unplug it one day, you have nothing. So you've got to diversify between digital and physical. So that's all I want to cover with silver and gold, is keep your eye out for that big, it's a similar sort of something, or a suppression similar to 2009, and it'll be a manipulated event. I think it could possibly happen this month, next month, could happen at the back end of this year, something where it drops down $1, $2, $3 even, and it won't be there for too long. It'll bounce back pretty quickly, I think a little bit more aggressively than 2009, but that's all I wanted to talk about there. Now I wanted to touch on my top 11 cryptocurrencies. Now again, this is not financial advice. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not here to promote anything there's no commercial reason why I do this. I just want to share with you what I have done so far, because I do get a lot of messages, emails, and people talk to me on Steem, and they're always asking me, what are you doing, what's your position, and why. So I thought, well, look, I'll share it with you. And my number one at the moment, this is actually on the top of my list at the moment, based on what I feel will move the most in the next 3 months, and if anything, it's already moving. So I'm going to go back to my coin Gecko here. First one is VERGE. Now VERGE is a privacy coin. Privacy meaning that they don't track your IP addresses, and it's a very cheap, affordable cryptocurrency. So you can get quite a lot of coins at this stage. There's going to be 16 billion in production, which will make it a very feasible currency in 2 or 3 years. We won't have to deal with too many decimal places like you will with some of the others. And so I think their strategy and their market niche is very, very strong. I think their community is very strong. Their development team is very strong. Branding is strong. I think you'll see they may go 5 to 10 to 25 times before the end of the year. I mean, this is speculation. So I'm speculating for myself that happens, and I've gone and put a certain amount of money on VERGE, not to take out at Christmas or anything like that. I'll be definitely holding for the next 2 or 3 years, but I'm hoping that it changes. It could add an element of change in my life if it pays off. DGB, Digibot, it's been hammered. I keep talking about it. A lot of people, I think some young people didn't get their Lamborghini when it had a bit of hype last month. It's retraced back to probably its normal price, so its true market value, based on the fact that they haven't actually launched DigiSign, they haven't launched a couple of their other key aspects. There are some major announcements at the back end of this month, and I think you'll be surprised what happens. I think if you did improve your position, or even get a position of Digibot right now, 600 sats and maybe a little bit less is pretty good, but I think in 3 years time you'll be very, very happy with Digibot, based on their cybersecurity, their information management, even probably some of their gaming integration will probably strengthen, even though there's a little bit up in the air at the moment, but keep your eye on that one. Bitshares is the other one, number 3. Bitshares I love for a lot of reasons. One's it's graphene. 2, it's Stan Larimer, which is Dan Larimer's father. He's pretty much responsible for that, but I think Dan had a big play in it as well. Bitshares is integrated in a lot of other systems like BlockPay, so you're going to find that Bitshares will be used as a currency. Their light wallet is so good. It's got an integrated market in it, like a Bittrex. You can go in there and trade, and that's getting busier and busier and busier every single day, that you can even move other cryptos into your Lite wallet, which is amazing because you can have that cold storage, and I think that's awesome. I don't do that yet because I'm just a bit nervous about doing that, and I just need to go and make sure I have the right process. So I only use move Bitshares in and out at the moment, and it's something that I've held on to, and I've got in nice and early, but I do believe it's a multiple dollar coin. Again, go do your research on all of these, but Bitshares is my number 3. AntShares, this is in no particular order really, I just wrote them down off the top of my head, but AntShares to me is the Chinese version of Ethereum using smart contracts. They're going to attract their own cultural niche-based dApps, I suppose, so you get Chinese version dApps, which will connect into the AntShares platform, and I mean, China's got its own thing going on, and that's what's going to happen with AntShares. At $10 Australian, I do believe it's going to go to multiple hundreds at some stage, and probably go very, very quickly. It's already shown some early movement. It's done its first wave, and as that they develop their platform a little bit more, you might find that then some other dApps will start emerging in 2018 and start branching off the AntShares technology. So definitely, again, go read up on it, and I think you may find that it's worth having in your portfolio. Then you've got EOS. EOS is going to pretty much be at the top of the list in regards to Ethereum-based AntShares platforms, where dApps are utilizing the code and then the transaction and information highway for their success. And I think the big thing about EOS is the speed and reliability that I am sure will come from the Larimer team, the Block One team. I mean, that's what we're investing in. I thought anyone that's invested in EOS especially would have a connection with Bitshares and Steem it, because that's where Dan Larimer has built a major community. So the community behind Bitshares and Steem, and probably EOS, is, I would have to say, is probably the biggest, apart from the Bitcoins and the Ethereums, which is pretty bit mainstream really. But the things like Bitshares and Steem have grown strength based on a following and a lot more trust based on information, because when you go to Steem it and things like that, there's lots of articles on EOS and Steem and Bitshares, and you really can get a greater insight to why these cryptocurrencies are going to move successfully forward in the next 1 or 2 years. So I definitely have look into getting some EOS. You've got heaps of time, because there's another 300 plus windows to get in. I have done a blog on my steemit.com at Sebastian Jago page on how to get EOS, and I'm happy to put that into the link. I've got a video as well, and there's links to that particular article, but there's heaps of other people who are doing it as well. REDDCOIN. REDDCOIN is my speculator. Now, a lot of people call it a dead coin. It's not that exciting. It's a tipping coin. It's all been done before. However, it's sitting there. It's like a little sleeping giant of possibility. And reason being is they're about to launch 2 bits of news in the next 2-3 months. They're going a little bit slower, but that's okay with the development team. They're better off taking their time and getting it right than bringing out an inferior product and stuffing it up. But what REDDCOIN made an announcement last week that they were going to launch REDD onto YouTube as their first target. Now, I know that they've been testing it in Slack. I've seen it. There's pictures of them transferring money between members, and it works. Looks cool, and all of that type of stuff. So what REDD is it'll integrate with your wallet. You'll be through your browser, through your browser, to the sense you don't have to. It won't be integrated into YouTube exactly, but it'll be integrated via YouTube through your own browser. And what you'll be able to do is send money directly to any of the subscribers or the content creators, or I suppose anyone really, and share with them REDDCOIN based on the value, which I think is a great thing. Very similar to Steem, because I think giving out, giving a return is a great thing. It's very rewarding. I've enjoyed doing it on Steemit. Anyone that comes to my Steemit profile and comments, I always upvote and give them a proportion and an upvote, and they make some money for contributing, and I think that's fair. and we have some interaction, and we all benefit that way, and I really enjoy it because I've got a little bit of Steem power at Steem it, and so every time I click on someone's comment, that they get paid automatically, and I'd like to do that on my YouTube channel, so I will definitely be doing REDDCOIN. Anyone that follows me can definitely look into it, and even if it's a couple of cents or goes to 10 cents, it might go to 50 cents, and if it does, when it's at 0.002, you're going to do pretty well. Sure, it won't go to $400 like an Ethereum, but it may go to 20 cents, 50 cents. Is it worth getting some pocket money onto that one? Well, I'd say you're probably crazy not to, and you've got to take something that I would use. I would like to have this application, and I don't really have any other cryptocurrency that's offering that service to me, being on YouTube, and anyone that's watching this now can also benefit. So check it out. PIVX is my next one. PIVX, I like PIVX because it is a privacy coin, although not 100% private. But I know they're working on it. They've got a good team, great website, and obviously the development team's in your face. There's lots of videos. They've just released a payment system. They're a branch or a sidechain of Dash with improvements, so they look at very fast and reliable, and they're looking to increase payment systems. And I know that these things are going to happen because that's their direction. So PIVX will be something that you'll be able to buy things with, and if you've got a swipe card, and I think people really enjoy that luxury or convenience, and I think it's trustworthy because it's something that we do now. Definitely worth having a look at it. You can stake, proof of stake. You can get some coins. I just got one today, 1 or 2 coins for my stake. So definitely PIVX. Dope is a bit of a speculator in the sense it's about 3 Australian cents. Now I got in pretty early. Now, what I like about it is what they're doing is they're connecting with medicinal marijuana outlets in Canada to seamlessly allow online transactions with DopeCoin, and then they'll have delivery service, and they've already got 3 or 4 alliances or allies, if you like, or relationships set up. Now, the other side of Dope is that it's a staking coin. Now, I get what is probably my best staking coin outside of REDDCOIN. Because DopeCoin is about 3 cents Australian, so I'm getting around about between 150 and 300 coins a day. So when I do the calculations on that, I'm getting pretty close to $9 Australian per day for staking, having my wallet running. Now that's $3,500 a year, and knowing the cryptocurrency market, there's no doubt that that's going to appreciate in time, and my $3,500 could be worth 10, 20. That's what I like about it. It's reliable, it's fast, and I can move those currencies around. Am I going to be buying medicinal marijuana in Canada? Probably not. However, it's something that I just got in early, and because of the staking, I've just kept my DopeCoin. So have a look at what they're doing. I know it's not an Ethereum or anything like that. It's probably something, a bit of play money really. And if anything's earning you interest on the side for a certain amount of money, I would have to say that has extreme value. Is it going to go down below 3 cents? No, I think you'll probably find it's only going to go up 10 times, and it might hover there for the rest of its career. It could be 50 cents for forever, but if you're in now, you might find it's quite a very stable place to have your money, and it'll probably grow in time, and you'll also get a return from staking. Next one, Steem. If you're not in steemit.com, then you're probably a bit crazy. Well, actually, it's fair enough. If you're not into writing and not into contributing, and you sort of keep to yourself, and you don't really want to mine Steem, because as a content creator and even someone who curates and comments on other people's content, you do have the ability to earn money. People upvote your comments, people upvote your content, your blogs, and from there you can earn a nice little return on a daily basis. And if you're stacking, and I see Steem as a stacking thing, you can liquidate Steem at any time if you want, and put it onto the market and sell. It's sitting at $2.38 per coin, which is pretty good. I got in early, and there's a wallet on there, and you can see that it's open source, so I've got 26,000 Australian dollars in there. I can't hide that from you, and you can go and find that out yourself. you know, it's not a world-changing amount of money, but it's nice to have been able to earn that in 6 months. I probably invested around about $1,500 at the beginning when it was about 10-20 cents. So I've got a good little head start. There's no doubt. I think with any of these type of platforms, you've got to be consistent and be really patient and contribute and want to do it. And I am doing it. I'm doing these videos and I'm sharing my stuff there, and I do a bit of writing, so it has worked for me. Steem, or you can also earn Steem dollars, which is down the bottom. I won't go to that, but that's an alternative currency to Steem if you want to look at it that way. Steem does have 3 different currencies, well, 2 that you can actually trade on the market: Steem and Steem dollars. Both of them are around that $2 mark. Next one is Golos. Golos is a branch or a sidechain to Steem. So it's a Russian version of Steem. They look the same. They've got different development teams, and Golos is a little bit behind in the same development that Steem has done in regards to some of the features. So it's a little bit behind. Got a few little lagging issues in regards to the actual platform, but in regards to the speed, moving in money in and out, there's never an issue. That happens very, very quickly. It's had a little bit of a spike today, and I think it's on the graphene, so it's part of that EOS graphene Steem Bitshares peer plays brotherhood, if you like, sisterhood. There's Golos there, 17 cents Australian. Is it a long-term play? It might go to $1, but the reason why I like it is just because it's on the side, and it also aligns with my blogging protocol. So anyone that writes could use that as a secondary place to place your blogs, and that's what I do. So I'm writing to not only my non-Russian friends, I'm also writing and sharing my videos to my Russian friends. Next one is LITECOIN. Now, in the WebBot report, we had LITECOIN came out as something that was going to show incredible strength over the next few months. Now, the reason why is because it's been widely accepted in the Asian markets, and I think there was a restriction on Bitcoin for a period of time, and LITECOIN got a lot of attention. And the WebBot report talks about these stairs. So what that is, a little mini pump, a bit of a little slight downward trend, creates a top, maybe 10-15%, and then it climbs up again, and it keeps just climbing and climbing and climbing. And this doesn't happen overnight. This could be over the next few months. So I've got a feeling that we may see LITECOIN go to a new level, well over 100 Australian and onwards, based on what we see in the WebBot report, which you take with a grain of salt. But if you look at what's happening in Asian markets and how much attention it's getting, and it probably will, and I think it's getting SegWit and it's improving its speed. And I think you'll see some new developments and news in the next month or 2 months in regards to LITECOIN, which will definitely move it forward to a new level. So it's the old thing, buy on the rumor. So if this is a rumor, I would buy some. You know, it's at $70. It's not going to make you a millionaire overnight or anything like that. None of these will. It's like any investment, you've got to be in for the long term. Especially at this stage of cryptocurrencies, I think the Lamborghini stage is gone for many, for the fast money, but it's all about smart money now. So LITECOIN's one of my biggest tips in the sense of just from the WebBot report, and I think some of these others were also mentioned in the WebBot report. You've got AntShares and DigiByte. AntShares was mentioned in the previous report, and some of these others haven't been, and that's just a matter of focus. I think this is my focus, so this is my report, and that's what I'm doing. That's what's on my portfolio, and they're the ones that I'm looking at more often or not. And there's lots of great coins out there, you know, that could be doing amazing things like NAM and Dash. I do have a little bit of Dash. I do have other coins, by the way. That's not just my own thing, but they're pretty much my top ones. I'm not going to go and promote Dash when it's 250 Australian. There's something that you should just go and throw your money in. There's no doubt some of the big coins like Zcash and Dash and Ethereum, which may have a bit of a rocky ride, and Bitcoin and those type of ones may rise nicely over the next 2 years. You might see 3, 4, 5 times your money, and that's all good and well, but that's not what my main focus is. I've got a little bit of that, but I'd like to try to change my environment and make a little bit a larger return. And the way you do that is researching the coins that are going to probably move 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times in the next 3 years. And there's a lot of them. A lot of them are going to do that in the next 2 years. And it's going to be pretty crazy, and you'll be talking to your friends in 2, 3 years' time, and it's going to be really, really hard to say why didn't you listen to me? I told you so. What about this? And it's already happening. I've been doing that, and I'm just trying to keep my cool, I suppose, because you can't force anyone to do it. I suppose we want to see other people do really well, and it's like any investment, there's always risk involved. However, I see this as the greatest opportunity that we'll ever have in our lifetime to just change your entire reality. I mean, life's not just about money. For me, money allows me to go and travel, allows me to implement some of my grand passions in regards to energy sciences and health and pyramid technology and all sorts of, even decentralized administrations, which I've mentioned. You've got to have money for that. At the moment, I'm working hard on my other business and enjoying my life as best I can, but I am focusing on this as a 2-year opportunity and 2-year window. So that's all I wanted to share with you. Before I talk too much and ramble, I'll try to make this nice interesting down there. I'm not really pushing it or doing videos on Genesis mining all the time. I do mine and I do upgrade my portfolio. However, I do buy coins as well and hold them and stake them. But what I like about Genesis mining is that the coins just keep, or the proportion of coins that I'm mining every day just keep landing in the wallet, and it keeps going up. And if you are already invested in Genesis mining, my code's down there. If you're interested in mining with Genesis, I've got a referral code down there, and we both win. You get a bit of a trade-off. We get some extra hash power, and you'll get some discounts and things like that. But again, I'm not pushing that upon anyone. But if you want to do that, feel free to use my codes, and let me know if you have got your own code. I'm happy to use that, and I have been using other people's codes. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching this video. I'll get my lights repaired and this spooky light. And yeah, thanks for watching. Keep sharing. Be good. Be kind. Tune into my next video. Thanks, guys.